Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back into my video. My name is Fatan Karim. I'm from 11 TKG, and in this video, I want to give you an tips to solving an IT case. So this session, I want to talk about wireless implementation in Mikrotik device. So because why? Usually we using Wi-Fi. Now this is about a wireless, and but you might need to know about the issue of wireless because why? Maybe like something you feel like there's an issue like you feel like slow downloads or maybe slow connection because you don't follow the steps or maybe step by step to implementing the wireless devices like installing the router or maybe access point and maybe like others. Okay, so we don't need to take much time, so let's get started about wireless. What is wireless? Wireless, it's like communication wirelessly, but usually using cable, right? But wireless, you don't need a cable because you can transfer data wirelessly. It's like transfer information between more points or two more points without use an electrical conductor, optical fiber, or the continuous guided medium for the transfer. This is usually wireless used for purpose if you don't want to set up more cables and plug into your laptop using USB cable or maybe Ethernet cable. You need to do like that because wireless is as the solving the problem if you're lazy to set up the cables. So this is I will show you the example of wireless. There's a Wi-Fi as the wireless that mostly we use. So as you know, in Wi-Fi it has the standards of the wireless like this has the IEEE 802.11 and the specification and use two frequencies. Maybe not two frequencies yeah. Right now maybe three or four frequencies yeah. For them is I will choose wireless. They have 2.4 gigahertz alias Wi-Fi 4 and 5.8 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz in Wi-Fi 5. So that's about Wi-Fi. And second is like Bluetooth. This is usually Bluetooth used for like MP3 device. Example, if you want to connect a speaker or maybe Bluetooth speaker, you use Bluetooth. Or maybe like transfer files in the old days, yeah. Old days like transfer file using Bluetooth, and now we don't we use that just a little bit. And the third is radios. This is usually we use walkie-talkie or maybe HT, yeah, in ours. So it's like communication between radios, and it has the higher frequency of radios. Like you playing on radio FM in your car using MP3, so that's using the higher frequencies. Okay, that's all. And now I will show you the example of wireless device. So it's like access point or maybe wireless routers. For example, this wireless uh, maybe for Wi-Fi implementation, it's using access point like this. So this is like Ubiquiti UniFi access point, and there's 2G access point too, and there's antennas maybe, and there's others. And also in our router, it has a wireless device too. Like for example, this is ISP routers like Telkom or maybe Iconet. There's a licensed devices. So if you don't want to set up the access point in your home, the solution your router has the wireless. So you make sure you don't block by the obstacles. So that's example yeah, of wireless device. And the next I will explain about channels. So this is channel it use like frequency selection. So example here, there's like many channels in here. Like there's a 1 until 14 channels, and every channels it has the minimum and maximum frequency that used. For example, yeah, there's like channel number, top of channel, and the bottom of channel, and the center of frequency of this channel. For example, if you choose the channel here, so for example, I use channel 1, they will choose from this frequency until this frequencies. So if you want to select the channels here, don't try to select the channel collision with others. For example, in the first access point, I set the channel 1, which is using this frequency like 2412, and the other access point I set to the 6. Why I use the far channel? Because if you use channel too near, like first access point I use channel 1 and the second access point I use to channel 2, they will make interference because this is have the collision on the radius. And in here, each country has different channel regulation. For example, in the United States, they have 11 channels, but in Japan, it has wider channel or main channel, it has 14 channels. Okay, this is about 2.4 gigahertz channels. And the next is uh, the other frequency. There's like 5 gigahertz channel, which is this is more higher frequency and a higher channel too. But in this one, I don't show the reference here, but just like number here. But usually the 5 gigahertz channel use from what 149 until 165, and this is the frequency, for example. Okay, and now about the channels, I will explain about regulated domain. Regulatory domain is used to match regulation in a country. Each country has certain regulation when it comes to the wide frequency from intercorporation. This is like rules from the country that the allow frequency to use for the wireless implementation. For example, Indonesia, if I'm not wrong, yeah. So they have in the 2.4 gigahertz that's allow only 2412 until 2462 megahertz, and the next is the 5 gigahertz channel. So this is typo, yeah, sorry, yeah, this is 5 gigahertz channel. It allow only from 5725 until 5825 megahertz in 5 gigahertz, yeah. Okay, so that's about the good domain. And the next, I will show you the example of obstacles or maybe collision interference that makes slow connection. For example, this is like usually we know, yeah. This is like example of the collision or interference. For example, like the most to blocking more connection is it's like wall. So you can see here in the back here, this is like glass, and the other is wall. And so you think, and the second is glass. So you think that glass is not make the interference, but the glass material is also make this significantly um, interference. If you going to the other room, but this room doesn't have access point, and we access from the other room, so this is doing a significantly interference from that. And is trees, and in the third is trees. So this is usually in the outside or maybe in the outdoor, usually using like radios or maybe like walkie-talkie or radios, music, and you get blocked by trees. This is make interference too because they will block the radios in here. Okay, so now I will give you example things implementing the wireless device. So this is sorry when I don't expert on there, and this is like example. We have 5 rooms in here. For this is first is garage, and this is warehouse, this is kitchen, bedroom, and living room. And there is, so we set up the ISP routers from Telkom, yeah, for example, and we put router in the living room, and there's like many walls in here. And as you know, sometimes the router has the maximum of the distance, and when you go into further distance, they will get disconnect, for example, yeah. But in here, you can see if you're on the if you are on the living room, that means you need from the router and you will get the fast connection. But if you go into the bedroom, but the ISP router is on the living room, that you can see this is like interference because there's a wall, and sometimes this will significantly get like slow connection or maybe like um, you get disconnect, yeah, for example. And how to solve this? For example, I want to set up like this, yeah. For example, there's an access point, yeah. In here, I want to, if you want to get a wider signal, so the first thing you can to install access point like this. So access point, so this access point is a solving like if you want to make a good connection, so we install the access point in the every room. So example, in bedroom there's access point, and living room also there's access point, and many rooms in per rooms there's access point, so we'll get the fast connection and stable connection. And if you don't want to buy the access point, because as you know, access point it has the little expensive or maybe expensive price if you want to buy access point. So if you don't want to use access point, that we can use like repeater, so example, yeah, because repeater it also can use as like access point for the small connection, yeah, like in home. Okay, that's about the implementation of wireless. And now we go next start to the router board. This is about the implementing wireless in the router board. Mikrotik. So this is I will show tutorial how to use wireless in Mikrotik and how to use it. And I will show you first about the wireless standards in Mikrotik. So in router S, it has to support the standard wireless too. It has IEE 802.11 AN and AC, and it can use for 5 gigahertz and 2.5 gigahertz. Okay, so now and next, I will show you the band, the band like a protocol that we use the wireless network. So example, this is like IDE standards and the frequency speed that we use for this. For example, if you choose like this protocol, they will can use frequency like this and speed like this. And there, in the high speed, it used the protocol 802.11 AC. It used 5 gigahertz and up to 1 gigabit per second. Yeah. So this is about the protocol. Okay, and now I will show you the channel width. This is channel width is of the patch to use pass data in the device network. So this is based on the channel, yeah. So in here you can see in Mikrotik there's like channel width in here. So the start from the 5 megahertz, 10 under 20 megahertz, and also can up to 40 megahertz in Mikrotik. But in here I want to show you why we recommend using 20 in the wireless implementation, because if you can see here, there's like wider of channel here, yeah. So there here. So in Mikrotik, it looks like 20 megahertz, but it works in the 22 megahertz. So for example, if you choose 20 megahertz, they will only works from here until here, so they will not make any interference from other channels. But if you use the higher channel width, for example, like 40 megahertz, so this is, for example, we're in channel 6 and we use the channel width 40, so this is radius will be more wider and will be making interference to other channels. So that's why the channel width is work is also affects to the connection. Okay, so that's about implementation of wireless and introduction. So now let's get started the tutorial. Okay, so now I will show you the topology that we use for this tutorial. And here we have the router here. So this is a router board, for example. This is router board 941, and it has the wireless device to connect from the internet. For example, we connect Wi-Fi from IDN, and there's an IP gateway here. And now we connect to the router, and we'll be continue again to the client which is using IP 192.168.75.1. And now if you want to connect to the client from router, we use the Ethernet cable and we plug to the Ether 2, yeah. And for the wireless, in this router, it has only 2.4 gigahertz, so I think it's okay, yeah, for tutorial. And now for here, we use the Wi-Fi that we want to connect because we has a wireless. So now let's get started tutorial. Okay, so let's get started the tutorial here. And now, if you want to configuration this router, we need an application. It's Winbox. So now here I have a window, the Winbox opened. So I use the Winbox 4 and it's still beta, yeah. And now we want to connect to the router. So now we need to connect the cable first. And I show you the topology last time. So this is the topology that we want to use for configuration like now. And now we need to one Ethernet cable and connect router from the Ethernet 2, and we plug to the device to the client, yeah. And now in the second later we connect the wireless from the other access point to this router. Okay, so now let's get started tutorials. And now we need to do is connect from router first. So now if you already plugged the cable, so we need to do is just select from networks and select the router that you use. And if you don't have if you have new from router, or maybe if you just reset the router, so the default user and password admin and the password is blank. So because I have password, so I need to fill password first. Okay, there we go. So now we connect from the router, and now in here by default, so there's no configuration here and there's no IP address. So now in here we need to set up first as usual. Okay, so now in the topologies, we need to do is set up the access point first. Not access point, I mean IP. Yeah, sorry. I need to set up the IP first. So now let's get started, and it's time. Now in here I want to make a static IP from Ethernet. So now we go to the IP, addresses and click new. And now we need to do have IP address for gateway in the router. So now in here we use 192.168.75.1/24. So we need to make subnet first. And we choose interface to Ethernet, yeah, which is we connect to client. Apply the configuration. And now we want to make a DHCP server. This is the configuration to give the dynamic IP to the client. So now we go to the DHCP server, and now in here, so we did first the old one, and now if you don't have this configuration, so now we set up first. So now we choose the interface that we to use, and now just click next until we go to the DNS server. So in DNS server we just use 8.8.8.8, which is Google Open DNS, and click next and click next too, and there you go for DHCP server configuration. We already applied it, and now for the next we already applied the IP for interface Ethernet 2, and this client will get the IP from the router because we already set up the DHCP server. And now for the next step, we want to connect the Wi-Fi or internet from the other access point to this router. So now we get started again, the next configuration. And now we need to do is go to the wireless menus, and now by default here there's like interface like 1-on-1, and here you can see the interface is disabled, so we can just simply click enable to enable the interface. And now the interface has been enabled, and now we go to configuration here, and now we go to the wireless, and here we need to choose this modus as I explained before. In the mode, if you want to use as the devicer from the access point, we just use station. And if you want to make a access point as the router, I mean the router as an access point, we choose mode to the IP bridge, yeah. Because we want to receive the connection from other access point, so we just use station. Okay, and here, and next we choose the band. So now we choose the 2 GHz BGN, yeah, for this. And now channel width, we use the smallest one, because if you use the highest the channel width, this is make a problems on the connection. Okay, in the frequency here, so now we choose channel 1. So because we use the 2412, so it will choose the channel 1. Okay, and the next one is SSID. So this is SSID is name of the Wi-Fi or the name of Wi-Fi, yeah, that has been implemented. So if you don't know the SSID, if you want that you want to connect, so you just click the scan, and this is to connect the SSID or Wi-Fi. So just use to scan, and now we'll click start to discover the Wi-Fi. And here, as you can see here, because we want to connect IM disco, so there's SSID IM disco here. And now to make sure if you want to get the fastest connection, so you must choose the signal strength, the lowest one. Choose the lowest one of the signal strength. So now we found this one, the IM disco, which is this access point. It has the lowest value. So now we choose this. And if you want to choose this one, we just click connect. Okay, there we go. It's already connected. And as you can see here, it's now running because this Wi-Fi or this Wi-Fi doesn't have the securities. And for example, my Wi-Fi has security like there's like WPA2 security. So now, if you want to make a password here, so we cannot type the password in here. So if you want to make a password, we just go to the security profiles, click new. And now we choose the name of profile. We can type as you want, for example, password in there, yeah, for example. And we choose more to the dynamic keys and choose the WPA PSK and WPA2 PSK. And now enter the Wi-Fi password in here. For example, my Wi-Fi password is 108, and confirm again in the next box, 108, and click apply. So this configuration only implemented if your Wi-Fi has the password, yeah, for example. And now after that, you change the security profile that you already make. So this is affect if you want to connect the access point or Wi-Fi, yeah. Okay, so now we already connect first. And now the next is frequency mode. So this is based on regulatory domain. So now if you can see here, there's three options. The first is manual transmit power, and the second is regulatory domain. This is will follow the domain that allowed in this country. And the next is super channel. So super channel is the third option if you want to choose the frequency more wider that available in the hardware. So if you choose the super channel here, so if you go to frequency, they will show you the frequency that can be used in the router. So as you can see, this Mikrotik can use for 2732 and it's more wider. But sometimes if you apply this configuration, they sometimes don't allow because in the country here, we need to choose the country that allow the wider frequencies. Okay, there we go. So now we apply this configuration. Okay, so about the wireless configuration has been done. So now if you want to get the internet access, in here we need to go to the NAT configuration first. So you can simply go to the IP, go to firewall, go to NAT, and click new, and we just simply go to SGR and we go to the action, and we choose action to the mask word. So this mask word, it means they will separate this internet connection to be available. Okay, there you go. So this is I connect because in this IDN Morisco Wi-Fi, it has the hotspot configuration. So for example, every you connect the Wi-Fi here, they need to prompt first like enter the username and password. So because that we already done to make this configuration, and let's go to the next. Okay, so now in the next steps, we want to check interference here. So this is like a method to change interference. This issue because if you feel like no connection when using wireless, so try to preventing interference and like you may do for these steps. Okay, so now let's get started. Okay, for these steps, if you want to preventing the interference, we can go to the wireless, and now we choose the interface that we use. And now here we can see the action in action menu. There's like frequency usage. There's like snooper or maybe a sniff. Yeah. So this is the tools to check the interference. Okay, for the first tool is about the frequency usage. So this is to discover how many usage in this frequency. So if you want to discover the frequency usage, you just click start, and we will scan the frequencies and the usage. So as you can see in here, there's like a result in here. So for example, we get the smaller usage in the 2422. So you can see this is the smallest usage frequencies, and in the other frequencies they has the higher usage. It means the client it use many frequencies, it use many usage in these frequencies. Okay, this is first step for you. That is the first steps if you want to see the frequency usage. And next here we can go to the snoopers. So we just click start here. Okay, not snooper. I mean, sniff yeah. Not sniff. Yeah, in snooper here. Okay, sorry. Okay, we go to the snooper. So now, as you can see here, they will discover the usage of these channels, and maybe you can see here how many address use this channel and frequency here. Okay, that's the second tools that you can use in Mikrotik. Okay, I think this is not. I think the client is not discoverable, so that's like that. Okay, so now in the offset of the Mikrotik tools, there's like tools from Microsoft Store, which is Wi-Fi analyzer. So this is tool. It also can be check the interference tool. So now let's start. Okay, so now this is tool that to check the channel frequency here. For now, this tool can be discoverable how many channels to use and also the frequency usage. And here in the first page, there's like network details in here. And if you want to check the channel usage, we can go to the analyze And here you can see the channels. For example, we are in the 2.4 gigahertz, and you can see the channel usage here. For example, in you want to check the interference, you just need to check here. For example, you can see this one in implementation. They now follow the implementation about this channel. So you can see here, they make like they preventing the collision. So they use channel 1, channel 6, and channel 11. So because usually in others, so if there's like channel 1, we use the channel 4. So they will be make like collision in others frequencies. So now we can go to 5 gigahertz frequency, and here also you can see how many usage in these channels or maybe frequencies, and how many signal strength if you connect from these frequencies, and that's all. But in here, this tool sometimes you need to buy the pro version. So like if for example, uh, where if you want to know this SSID from this usage, you need to use pro version, yeah, for example. And we can go to the networks here. So this is a network. It has the will recommend you the available networks in here. So as you can see, there's like many networks that trying to go to the client. For example, this is like the signal strength if you connect this Wi-Fi. And as you can see, I connect to the idea Monisco Wi-Fi, which is using the slowest, not slowest, I mean the lowest interference, because I connected the access point in there. And if you go to scroll down here, there's like many access point that fall to that place from the client, because the access point is on the routes. Okay, so that's tools that we can use in the for the implementation in wireless. Yeah. Okay, done. Yeah. Okay, so maybe that's all for me about these tips and trick, how to preventing the collision and about OS implementation. And thank you guys for watching my video. And I apologize if you watched the video from start until end. And sorry when I have a mistakes. And the last say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.